Welcome to another smoke break. Today we are going through how I got my start in the barbecue rub and seasoning game. So, if you've watched previous episodes, you know that I had started out catering pre-COVID shutdown. That didn't work out. Buddy of mine, challenged me, or, however you want to call it, said, why don't you start selling rubs? And I didn't know how. So he was like, well, figure it out. So I did. And, it sounds like it was easy, but really, I'm little over 2 years into this, and it's still not easy. It's still hard. I started out with a little bit of extra cash from my 9 to 5. I think it was like $60 or something like that I had put aside to start this. So I did that, and I had the name registered, toma-HACK Barbecue. The reason of the name is because I was catering and I was using, barbecues. I was actually catering barbecue food. So, use that. I had already, registered the business to be catering, to be food service, to retail, wholesale. When I started, I didn't have my own line. I was importing White Bull's Barbecue and Neil's Syrup. Both amazing products, by the way. Phenomenal. I still use them to this day. And I decided, hell, I'm gonna go on, figure this out. So, found a co-packer, sent them my recipes, took months upon months of testing, trying to get it right, because what I'm buying and what the co-packer's buying is two very different things, right? Like, they're getting in bulk from wholesalers and stuff like that. I'm going into Dollar Tree or, Walmart, Superstore, wherever it may be, and just picking up ingredients and trying to figure out my blends and try and get the flavor profile right, and, the consistency right, and everything else like that. So it took months upon months, and my first three were Deadly Bovine, A Sweet Heat, and Just Giver. So, with those three finally ready to release, I had saved up enough money to buy, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's a dozen bottles of each. I had started with 3 dozen bottles and started selling them, just to friends, to family, stuff like that. Next round, 2 dozen of each. It was a small start. I stayed at 2 dozen of each for a long time. Got my first retailer out in Alberta, Backcountry Barbecue, or Backcountry Recreation, my apologies. That was my first retailer. They were amazing. Started picking up a few more out west, and then started getting a few out here. And we are talking almost a year in, and I'm still ordering 2, 3, 4 dozen at a time if I'm lucky. Just trying to make ends meet, trying to pay off bills. I run everything off of Shopify, which, honestly, for any small business, Shopify, I've suggested it and pushed it to a bunch of different people, because it is so helpful. It is so easy. It just made my life easier. I can do all my inventory. I can do all my cost calculations. I can do all my retail calculations. I mean, don't forget, this is a bottle of spices. We're not out here making, $30 profit. We're making a couple bucks profit per bottle. It's not huge margins. So, it takes time to try and build up. And now we're 2.5 years in. And yeah, I'm ordering, 10, 20 dozen at a time. But that's after almost, we're coming up on 2.5 years now. And I'm only there. This isn't easy. This isn't an overnight, glamorous story. This is a fight. I mean, when you're competing against guys like, Cosmos Q and Killer Bee and all those huge companies, a lot of retailers won't give you shelf space because they can't guarantee they're going to sell your stuff, right? You're just a small fish in a big pond. And, you know, all my retailers, I really appreciate them because they really let the little guys like myself, like Rave Barbecue, like Junior and the Kid, you know, Motley Q, all these phenomenal companies that aren't pushing out hundreds of dozens of bottles at a time. They're not shipping out, you know, pallets upon pallets all over the place. We're all in this together. You know, I constantly use guys like Reed's. Reed's has amazing rubs. I have his stuff in my shelf all the time, use it all the time. Junior and the Kid, phenomenal sauces. I'm not a big sauce guy, but awesome products. It's guys like us that get this little bit of shelf space, and, you know, these companies are helping us out and giving us a break. And we all really appreciate it, right? You know, right from the bottom of our hearts, because that's where we finally get that chance to really push our products. So, you know, I'm sitting at, I don't know, I think it's 37, 38, just under 40 retailers now across Canada. And, you know, that sounds like big numbers, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. I mean, you know, I'm not selling huge volume. These guys are taking up shelf space for me to try and help me press my products out there, to try and get my products into consumers' hands. You know, they're not selling huge quantities. They're just giving me a little bit of shelf space so that I can hopefully become something. I still have a 9 to 5. This is all just part-time right now. You know, I work Monday through Saturday, and that's not barbecue. That's to pay regular bills. This is all after. I mean, as you can tell, I'm still in my work shirt right now. We own a furniture company, retail company, and I mean, that takes my dedication. So, you know, everything else that I do is after hours, you know. I spend my time with my kids after, and, you know, barbecue has a very small portion of my attention. And as much as I would love to give it my full attention, you know, it's not a huge thing yet. I can't. So when you got people giving you space for your products and pushing you and helping you, that's what does it. You know, that's what helps small businesses like myself, like all the others I've mentioned, you know. And yeah, I mean, I'm still plucking away. I'm still busting my butt day in and day out, you know, staying up till 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, trying to do this stuff, you know. I don't have a lot of time for recipe videos and all these fancy things. I'm trying to feed my family. Like, you know, if I cook and remember at the end of a cook, oh, I should probably take a video, that's what's getting posted. And it's because, unfortunately, that's not my priority. But I do appreciate all my customers. I appreciate all my retailers, because without any of them, this would be nothing.